Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Vinny and today we're talking about this little guy. This is an Explorer II Polar dial. I picked this one up about 2 months ago and I did an unboxing video, so if you haven't already seen that, go ahead and take a look at that. But today we're going to talk about a short-term ownership review. I've had it for about 2 months and I've had enough time to wear it and really get a feel for it. So let's go ahead and talk about my likes and dislikes and so far my experience with it. And I love making videos like this because I know when I'm watch shopping, I watch a ton of reviews to make sure that I know what I'm getting myself into. Because to be honest, a lot of times you can't just walk in and buy one of these. So when you get the call or you get the opportunity, you have to be able to make the decision there and then. Maybe that might change in 2020 or 2021, who knows what's going on. But as of right now, in the current situation, I use these kinds of videos to make my decisions on whether I'm gonna pursue a certain piece or not. So I hope that this will help you decide on whether the Explorer 2 is right for you or maybe just pass on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the fact that first of all, this is a 42mm watch. Lug to lug width from top to bottom here is 50.2 millimeters. And I believe because of the solid end links here, when you actually flip it down like this, from this side to that side, it's a little bit larger than 51 millimeter. It's not a very tall watch, I should say, right? It's about 12.5 millimeters in height, so it sits on your wrist pretty low, which is really, really nice. And then lug width from left to right here, it is 21 millimeter. So back in the 1970s, this watch was used for cave exploration. Now generally this watch comes in a black dial. This is the Polar version. I believe this is a little bit more of a rare spec than a black dial. For every 4 to 5 black dials, you should see maybe one Polar. So I'm really happy to have this piece. I really think that this is a very understated watch. As you can see here, it's all brushed. All the finish, there's no polished links. The only polished parts are the side of the case and of course the shoulder of the bracelet. You do have on this watch, well, I feel like on all the new bracelets, on all the new Oyster bracelets, you have the 5mm easy link. So if you flip this down, it's 5 millimeters smaller. Pull it out, and now it's 5 millimeters larger for when your wrist expands, if you're out and about and you have heat or whatever it is. The GMT movement in this, so this is a 3187 caliber, 3187 movement back there, slightly bigger than the last version. I want to say it's the same movement, but it's just spread out a little bit more because this is a 42mm, whereas the previous Explorer 2 was a 40mm. The hour markers were white gold, but they're covered in this black to give it that contrast, as well as the Mercedes hands and the minute hand. The GMT hand there is in orange. Now when you pop out the crown to its furthest setting here, you can now set the minute, and that'll make the GMT move. So you can set that on a 24-hour bezel here, which is awesome for those who like military time. For instance, 12 o'clock here, let's just say I'm doing New York, so then I want to push this back, and then I set the hour back or forward, right? So whatever it may be, let's say it's 3 o'clock here, on the 24-hour dial, it's 3 a.m. So 3 p.m., 3 a.m., which is really, really nice. I don't know, I mean, this is great for traveling. I use it for other reasons. I actually do use a GMT on a daily function. I think it's part of the watch guy in me to kind of try and find the fun in every watch. And I track at certain time zone. Well, I track the East Coast time zone because I have some employees that work out there for me. So I can kind of track their time and then track my time here in the West Coast that way. Overall, absolutely love this watch. I mean, it is understated. I think this is probably the best value Rolex, especially for its size. If you do have a bigger wrist, I have about a 6.25 inch wrist. I want to say it's about 16 centimeters in width. I'll go ahead and put this on, you can kind of see what it looks like. But again, super understated. This is 8,300 MSRP. And if you kind of think about it, it has the date function and the GMT function for 8,300. I know that's not a small amount of money, but in retrospect to what we're talking about here, the no date Submariner or the Submariner is 7,900 MSRP. So that's, you know, only $350 less than this, but it doesn't have a date function. And then the date Submariner is 8,900, which makes it, what, about 700, almost $700 more expensive than this piece. And then the GMT, Rolex GMT, is 9,500. So you know, this is a really good price watch for what you're getting, $83.50. And I absolutely love the new bracelet, the Oyster bracelet that they've upgraded to. Super comfortable. I've never had an issue with this piece. It, of course, is a little bit larger, but it sits and looks just great. It's very comfortable. I can wear this for long periods of time. As you can see, it's not a very tall watch, so if you're wearing a long sleeve, you can definitely just tuck it over this. But overall, I would recommend that if you're looking for a date and a GMT function, and you want something a little understated, this is the piece to go with. And to be honest, in my opinion, like I said, I think it's undervalued, and once people catch on, the prices of these may go up. I just think there's room for this watch to grow in price in comparison to the other pieces. Again, if you have a bigger wrist, I think this is gonna look amazing on you. Even on my smaller wrist, this still looks really good. I have no complaints. It's really comfortable. I can wear it for long periods of time. I don't get tired of it. It doesn't feel heavy. Rolex has did a really great job with this bracelet and making it comfortable. So yeah, if you do get the chance to pick this up and you've been thinking about it, I highly recommend you do, especially the Polar dial. For me, I absolutely love it. It just pops so much, but it's still understated because the bezel is completely brushed and it's in a radiant brush finish. So it's still very understated. You can wear it around. People won't know what it is. However, you do have the date and the GMT function. I think it just makes for a great daily if you were gonna use it for that sense, or else just traveling in general because the GMT function. So if you get the chance to pick it up, I recommend you do. I hope this review helps you. If there's anything that I didn't answer or there's any other questions you have, go ahead and just leave a comment below and I'll make sure I address that for you. So that should wrap it up for this review. Until the next one, hope you guys subscribe, hope you guys like the video, so please give it a like, thumbs up, because it does help me quite a bit. But of course, please subscribe so when I release new content, you can be there for it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then.